Sports Talk now, and we're joined by Larry Thompson, and of course with Scary Barry. And Larry and Scary, always a pleasure to have you back on the program.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
Well, we were talking before this interview. You played the Nazi at home. Had a little problem there in OT. Want to give me a little, fill me in here?
Yeah. Well, we should have never went to OT. You know, it was tied up. We had the ball left for 30 seconds to get a timeout. And that's when you got to be smart. You know, if you ain't got no pass all the way, you go when we go home. Well, unfortunately, it didn't work that way. We ended up throwing in the session. We go overtime, and they got some overtime.
Well, you get to make amends. I mean, well, who's on tap tonight here?
We got YAKIMA Washington. That's the other Washington team. So we're gonna take out what we're supposed to do on Wanachi on YAKIMA.
Oh, heaven help them.
Larry, we were talking off mic a little bit about the possibility of a NFL lockout and how it would benefit arena football, how it's going to probably benefit maybe even the CFL and the UFL. It should be a very interesting fall. Maybe it's a year away, but something that maybe the arena football we might keep in mind.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the players here, this is an opportunity, you know. I mean, all these guys have tried to play in the NFL and unfortunately didn't make it for what reason. But now you have a chance to get back in there because of the lockout, you know. Like I tell my players, this is an opportunity right now to take advantage of it.
And, you know, certainly there's a lot of good talent out there. But probably you've seen around the league, and probably there's no reason why not these guys should have a shot.
Oh, definitely. You know, you got guys like Wong Jacobs, you got Jason Moore, you know, Alex Wallace playing defensive back. You don't have another chance. So, I mean, those are guys who the NFL are looking at right now because they know there might be a lockout. So they're looking to see who we got to bring in, who we're going to have keep the team around. So these guys got to take advantage of it.
I'm going to ask you, Larry. Larry Thompson, by the way, with us here on Sports Talk with Scary Barry on the pregame show for Sports Talk. Just going to ask you, you know, as far as what you've seen in the last few weeks since the last home game, who you've been impressed with, and who you look forward to really coaching and seeing tonight?
As far as who we playing?
Yeah. No. As far as who you're coaching.
Oh, right. I've been very impressed with Marcus Harper, I'm 21. I think bringing in Alex Wallace, he's a veteran. I brought him in last week to show my DBs what I mean about going and get the ball. You know, when the ball's in the air, it's ours and nobody else's. And by bringing Alex in, it showed he had 2 interceptions and one for a touchdown last week. And I think it kind of rubbed off on Marcus. I seen Marcus break up like about 3 or 4 balls, you know. So that's what I'm impressed with him. I think AJ's going to have a big game today. His parents is here, so I'm looking forward to seeing him go off too.
Offensively, it's a wide open game, and certainly it's a game that you certainly would like to keep the score down a little bit. And, when you do that, though, it feels like quite an accomplishment, especially in a high-scoring game like the arena football.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I tell the defense, we don't have no remorse on it. We can get as many stops as we can. You know, and this is arena football. You lucky if you get 1 or 2 stops. You know, so we can get 3 or 4. You know, or maybe even 5 with some touchdowns. Hey, we give our offense all kind of opportunity to win the game for us.
Scary Barry has some observations about defensive questions for Larry.
Okay.
You're Scary.
Yeah, this, you know, what you're telling these guys, it is an opportunity. There's been pro scouts at all these home games here in the city. And mainly what the pros are looking for, especially the kind of cover 2 and Tampa 2 and the kind of defenses, they're looking for something really close on the ball, real quick. And the UFL has signed up a couple people, a Pac-Man, just signed with them. And this is the stepping stone right here for your guys.
Exactly. You know, I mean, having these guys come out, the scouts come out and watch them, you know, you never know who's in that stand. And that's why I tell my players, you know, you go out there and go prove to them what you can do. I mean, I know the indoor game is different from the outdoor game because it's smaller, but that doesn't mean they can't see a guy going to get that ball or a guy going to make that tackle, you know. They still see the heart and the passion of people who play that game.
Yeah, it's a 40-yard thing, and so it's right there. It's right on what the scouts are looking for, that closing speed.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm going to ask you, how exciting is it for the players, knowing, I know they don't want to talk about it too much, but they keep it in the back of their mind, but it's got to be kind of exciting in the back of their mind that there are NFL scouts and UFL scouts out there.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I think they did a good job by keeping it in the back of their mind, you know, knowing they come out here and don't worry about who's in the stands, you know. I tell them all the time, you know, you're going to hear fans yelling, but you can't hear them. You know, you can't actually listen to that. You have to pay attention to the field, you know. Whatever's going to happen on the field, they'll see, you know. So don't worry about the fans, don't worry about who's watching you. You go out there and perform, and if you're meant to be seen, you'll be seen.
And Larry, we got an email from Howard Mitchell, Daly City. He writes in, of course, from watching previous videos and listening to previous programs. He's so loyal. Howard Mitchell behind us over there. He just basically saying that, you know, there's been a lot of tight games. So that one last home game, it was a real tight game right down to the finish.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these teams, we've seen them, what, the third time, 2 or 3 times to every team. So you know, that third time it's always hard. You know, these guys, they get familiar with us, they play harder against us, and, you know, everybody has heart. Nobody's gonna come out here and just lay down for us, and that's what I try to tell everybody. You know, we're a expansion team that's predicted to go to the championship. You know, that's a lot of pressure on us. But I think we have a team that can take that pressure.
Okay, Larry, I ask you this, off the field, I mean, the visiting team certainly probably really get jazzed up about coming to San Francisco, although it's a San Jose team, and coming into town and looking around. I mean, this is probably the biggest metropolitan out of the league for them to come, almost like big league.
We definitely trying to use it as a distraction. You go out, go see the city, go see Frisco,
stay up late.
Stay up late. Might not ever come back.
Sound like Scary Barry, he stays up late every night.
You know, I have a question for Larry. I've been reading a lot about the NFL. Now, who does your quality control? Handles the quality control for you?
Bennie's actually the GM and the head coach. You know, so as far as everything else outside of just coaching, I try to stay away from it. You know, I try to just focus on the coaching. So that's a question I really can't either way answer.
Well, you know, I do check out, you know, the quality control person in the NFL is the one that puts together the tapes on the different books and everything, what the defense is, what the offense is doing. I'm just thinking that, you know, that could be a possible entry for you to NFL and stuff, as being the quality control man. Puts all the tapes together for what the defensive and offensive teams that want to look at, they want to check out before a game. That's what I just...
Right, so I definitely, I guess I would say as far as the defense side, that's something I do. You know, I stay up every day and I watch film. I break them down to the easiest, to where it'd be easiest for my defense to make a stop. And like I said, playing and coaching is the same thing. I never want to put my defense in a bad position. So I break down film. You know, if anybody out there listening and they need that quality control guy, I do it all, you know.
Yeah, that's what I had.
I have to ask you something. I mean, the NC2A is expanding, and of course, there's the NFL that's on the cusp of the lockout situation. But I mean, as far as maybe you and some of the coaches that I know you don't want to talk about outside of contracts, but maybe just in general talk, do some coaches, you know, the whole goal is kind of to move up to the next level. I mean, just kind of get your thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, just like the players are selling themselves in their field, you know, we're selling ourselves as coaches to the next level too. You know, I want these guys to come out here and see how I get these guys to come out and play. You know, how I get their energy going. You know, I want to coach them. You know, I can't perform for them, but I can get them to play.
And certainly we like to have you back on the broadcast. So in a way, Scary and I and Paulino and Howard hopes that you don't get promoted so you're back on the broadcast, but it'd be good for your career.
Well, definitely. If I'm not promoted, I would definitely be here doing this.
And I know Scary Barry and I, we'd like to ask you on the air, and maybe during the off season later on, we'd like to talk to you maybe some arrangement that maybe you could do some analysis. We go to the Pro Bowl each year in Hawaii, and it'd be kind of fun to have you on board.
Hey, definitely. Yeah, I love Hawaii. Been there twice.
Especially for football.
Especially for football.
Scary Barry.
Thank you on behalf of Sports Radio Service.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. The whole past week is being kind of crazy with our practices, you know, and it's a lot to do with, you know, sometimes guys don't want to be too honest because they're afraid to hurt people's feelings. Honesty is the key. You know, it's better to be honest and tell the truth and let people know the real than to, you know, lead them on and now they hate you because they found out. So honesty, you know, for all the fathers out there, teach your kids honesty.